Hey folks, so after I made that last video, well, not the Walmart tags, but the actual outdoor video, the video where I received my SJCam. Later that night, I saw the lightning icon on the desktop, which is a weather alert, and I checked it out, and funnel clouds are possible this evening. Environment and Climate Change Canada has received several reports of funnel clouds since late this afternoon. These types of funnel clouds are generated by weak rotation under rapidly growing clouds or weak thunderstorms. This weak rotation is normally not a danger near the ground. However, there is a chance this rotation could intensify and become a weak landspout tornado. Oh goody. Landspout tornadoes do not usually cause significant damage, but can still be dangerous. They can be strong enough to topple trees, damage roofs, or toss debris short distances. Wonderful. And that's all I need is more garbage blowing into my yard. So, this morning, was it this morning or last night? I think it was last night. I discovered on the Weather Network app that mostly near London, there were other places. We were in the watch zone, but we never got anything here. I never heard any kind of wind of any kind. Just a couple periods of rain, that was about it. So, I finally uploaded my Walmart shelf tag videos. I had to do 2 of them because I just had so many tags. And during the process, YouTube lied to me. Nothing major, but it's deceiving. There's nothing wrong with the videos, but I set them as age restricted due to their perceived sexual content and bad language. You've seen them by now, so you'll understand why. And I also declared that in the ad preferences. So, the instant the first one uploaded, I get this message. Or notification, whatever. This video has been confirmed by manual review as not suitable for most advertisers. Manual review. That means somebody actually watched the video and confirmed. The instant it uploaded. I don't think so. So that's no. It didn't happen. So that kind of makes me wonder other videos that are censored for specific material, bad language or whatever, that, say the same thing. I wonder if they were actually reviewed. So, I decided to point that out. No big deal, but it's just, I don't know. So, today, I have, oops, forget what I was going to say there. But 12 degrees today. Nice day for working in the garage, but it's just kind of, as usual, a little cooler in here than it is outside. But it's still nice, I'll take it. There's a chance of rain. I don't see anything on the radar, but judging by the clouds, it might be spotty here and there while I'm out today. But before I go out, I have a bunch of, just moving everything around here. I have a bunch of viewers that are considering putting cameras on their scooters. And my SJCam, I've never really done a review on them. I've done a comparison between that camera and the GoPro. It was 3 cameras. So it was a genuine SJCam and a fake SJCam. That was my first 2 SJCams. Well, I can't even say that because my very first camera was a 720p SJCam. I didn't use it for very long. So I'm going to start by saying why you should have a camera on your scooter. Basically, so much crap going on in the world right now. Nobody takes responsibility for anything. Anything happens, somebody backs into you, they'll say that you ran into them or whatever. So many people now have dash cams for that specific purpose, to prove that they didn't do it. And that is exactly why I started using a camera on my scooter. So I'm going to go through the story again. My throat's really dry today. I don't know what's going on. Just give me a second here. Now, one day I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm having trouble with my voice. So I've told this story before, but for new subscribers, I'll go through it again. On my original scooter, my ES950, I was in Walmart shopping one day, and I was getting cream for my coffee. I'm a very patient person. I let everybody go first, and I will wait until, as long as I need to wait, whatever. So I come around the corner into the dairy aisle, and there's a young girl there. I'm not really good with ages, but I'm guessing 7, 8 years old. And she's standing right where I need to go. So I just kind of stopped and just waited, held back. And she's just kind of looking around, looking for whatever it is that she's looking for. So I'm sitting there. I'm not even looking at her. I'm just kind of looking down at the floor beside me like this. And all of a sudden this lady comes up behind me, just starts screaming at me for watching her daughter. And it's like just flipping out on me. And everybody in the aisle is staring. I was so embarrassed. I was freaked out. I didn't know what the heck was going on. And she grabbed her daughter by the arm and she yanked her and started stomping down the aisle, and everybody was looking at her. And it was an elderly lady. I don't remember if she was using a walker or a cane. She had some kind of walking assistance. I don't remember what it was. She said something to this lady, and this lady went right up to her face and just like she was gonna hit her. She never did, but just kind of made a motion like that, and this old lady fell. So I'm just sitting there. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I was in shock. And she disappeared, and somebody in my aisle, a younger guy, he said something along the lines of, I guess somebody didn't get some last night, or some smart remark like that, and all of a sudden the lady starts freaking out all over again. But I'm thinking, obviously this lady's had a problem with this in the past, but my main concern was, having worked at that Walmart, I know it's a small town, it's a small store. They don't always use their security cameras. So if this lady had gone to the police and complained, there may or may not be proof that I wasn't even looking at her. And at that point, it would be my word against hers, right? So I just kind of, I come up with this idea. I need some kind of proof that I'm not doing what I'm being. It's not the first time I've been accused of things, not that, but I get accused of things all the time. So I decided to put a camera on the ES950, and you can see the mount that I made for the camera and that, and I put lights on it and everything. But I've got videos on how I created that originally, and then how I recreated it to make it a little more stable. And I'll post links to that probably at the end of the video or something. It'll be in the description anyways. And there'll be several links in there eventually by the time I get finished this video. So I'll make sure they're marked quite well, so you know which video it is that it's referring to. So I put this camera on the ES950 over my shoulder so you can see what's in front of me, and you can see an important thing, you can see my head in the video, so you can see where I'm looking. That's how that started. That's why, like, even today you can still see my head in the video. It's got to be there for that specific reason. But that's what started everything. and then I started helping Cody deliver his papers, and it kind of turned into more of a fun thing. You know, the security's there, camera's there for security, but it also, you know, that's kind of started me doing these particular videos on YouTube. So I originally started with a cheap, well, I tried a dash cam. It was like $49 or something. It was supposed to be good. I saw the reviews on it. So I bought one, and it was absolute garbage. It didn't even work properly. So I looked at the reviews again, and I didn't look deep enough, apparently. So apparently that type of camera, you can either get it one that works or one that doesn't. So I went with the SJCam. Yeah, it was really cheap. It was, oh, I don't remember how much it cost me. That was a while ago. But I made a mistake, and I bought a hot pink colored one. Oops. So I painted it black pretty quickly, and it was adequate. If you're gonna put a camera on your scooter, if you just want it just to, you know, just for protection, just for dash cam, then you don't need anything special. I suggest a sports cam. Keep it under $100. You don't need anything of any high quality. You just need a record of what's going on, and that worked. But I started doing videos on YouTube, and the 720p just wasn't good enough. So I needed to upgrade to 1080, and that's when I bought my first 1080p SJCam. Turned out to be a fake one. It worked, but it just wasn't a real genuine one. And then I upgraded again. I got a genuine one, and then I went with the H9, which is the one I'm using here to talk. And I did a review on it when I first got it. It wasn't the greatest thing. It had issues. It had kind of a smudge in the center of the shot that was sometimes there and sometimes wasn't. Depending on the lighting situation, the color saturation would change. And if you're into bright sunny skies, then when you get into shadows, the exposure changes dramatically. The entire sky washes out into pure white, and then when you come back into the sunshine, it calms down again, and then anything in the shadows is like dark black. So I don't recommend it for, you know, basic use, but I use it as a backup. It works fine as a backup. It works great on cloudy days, and the way I'm doing mine right now is my normal camera is in an open case, and then this camera I put in the waterproof case, which is pretty dirty, but it doesn't matter because the lens is clean. That's all I care about. And this way I can still use it in the rain, because you can't use these cameras in the rain unless they're in a waterproof case. But if it's in a waterproof case, you can't hear anything that's being said. So, advantages and disadvantages. So what camera should you use? Well, you can use a GoPro. I don't recommend it for this particular application because I can't justify the price, because you're going to pay about $400 for one, and it's not going to be any better than a cheaper camera in this particular case. So what I don't like about the GoPro, other than the price, is if you're going to be doing any kind of quality video, you're going to require... Okay, I thought the camera stopped recording. You're going to require some post-processing. It's to take the video directly from the camera. It's got really low saturation, low contrast, and I'm going to use it today. I'll give you an example of, you know, what the difference is between that and these other action cameras. But if you go with a cheap action camera, just like I said, keep it under $100. You can find a good camera under $100. I obviously recommend the SJCam. I have a lot of experience with them. That's the main camera that I use. so I know that they're gonna work for you. So this one here is an H9. I just decided to try an Econ H9. Sorry, I decided to try something a little different, and well, it's I'm not using it as my main camera, but it's a good backup, and it works well for talking here in the garage because it's good in low light conditions. That's one advantage to it. So basically, before I get into the actual camera, what you're gonna need is somewhere to mount. If you just want to make fun videos or whatever, you can do selfie videos, which I'm not really a fan of. I prefer to see what you're seeing, not seeing you seeing it, if you know what I mean. But I'm actually going to do that today, just because. So I have a camera mount on my... I'm losing my voice already. I have a camera mount. Actually, I'm going to move to the front here, because I'm not sure how much glare we're getting from the doorway. I have a camera mount on my handlebars. This comes with the camera, and I can put the camera facing forward or facing backwards, which I will do today, like I said. So the Monster has an advantage. It's got the roll bar. It has somewhere I can actually attach the camera to. I mentioned previous video, this didn't come with it. This is an extension, because originally I had the cameras mounted on here, and my head took up way too much space in the video. I wasn't really happy with that. So I put the extension on just to raise it up, and you can still see my head. It's important, it's got to be there. You can still see it, but you can see more of what I'm seeing. And I have my open frame case here that I mount the cameras in. So it's open, and the microphone is free, so you can hear everything as well. And you get the... Let me just check here real quick. If I can't find it right away, I'm not going to worry about it, but... I don't know if it's going to be in here. If the bag would stay open, it would help. Nope, not in there. I wonder if not all my camera accessories are out here. For open frame, this is what you want. This is what I'm used to. I don't have one on here. When I mount several cameras on the Monster, I use these, and there's one right there. The camera just slips into it really quickly, just like that, and once it snaps in, it holds it in place. It's not going anywhere. And these have tripod mounts on them, so you can mount them pretty much anywhere. I have to have more accessories somewhere, because the last SJCam that I bought, it came with, oh, I know where it is. I'm using it on my weather cam. So I can't show you that, but I'm pretty sure this new SJCam will come with one of them as well. Get back out of there. Yeah, put everything back here, and I'll show you everything that comes with it. But it's got a wraparound case, and it squeezes together and then mounts in here. It's a permanent thing, so you can't really take the camera out and put it back every day. It's really cheap plastic. It'll break in no time. So I bought this one because I don't remember, I was getting rattling noises, and I thought maybe it was one of these that was making the rattling. Maybe the camera wasn't fitting tight in it. And it turns out it's the camera itself that's rattling, so something inside's moving, I don't know what it is. So I bought this. This is an aluminum case. It cost me $40. Get the door that slips on the back, holds the camera in, and of course if it's up just a little bit it comes out, so that's why I put the elastic over it once it's done. So it does have its faults, but it came with a haze filter, basically just for protection. So I bought me a polarizing lens. A nice thing about the SJCam that I have to say is they put a little bit of thought into it. It'll recognize the sky, it'll darken the sky, so if it's a nice sunny day you'll have a really deep blue sky and it just looks really nice. And with the polarizer filter, oh yeah, one other thing is the SJCam processes light areas and dark areas separately. So it doesn't just take the average and, you know, all the lighting is just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? There's no compensation, I guess. It's just if it sets to a bright spot, then all the dark areas are going to be dark, and if it sets to a dark spot, then everything's going to be light that is in the light areas, or too light. So it's just, there's going to be over and underexposed areas. So the SJCam actually separates the lights from the darks and processes them. I can't talk. Processes them separately and gives a really nice video. So I put this polarizing filter on. I got the same size thread. If I remember correctly, it's 32.5 millimeters, something like that, 36.5, something like that anyways. I put this on here, and it's a circular polarizer. You can turn the lens and adjust it to match the angle of the sun, and it gets rid of reflection. It straightens out reflected light. So if you I don't really know how to explain it. The sky's bluer. It looks bluer. There's reflections on water. It'll get rid of the reflections off of windows. It gets rid of reflections. It gets rid of reflected light, basically. Now, obviously, not all reflected light, because anything you see has light reflecting off it. So, but it's just the main. I don't know how to explain it, but it just makes for a better picture. And if you're interested, they're like $70 for a good one. They're not cheap, but it does have a downside being out in all this. There's two parts to it. Like I said, the outer ring rotates, and unfortunately you will get dust in between them, which I have right now. Not a big deal, but if I get into an area where, you know, I'm pointing directly at the sun, you can actually see those little dust particles in the video. They show up pretty good. Another thing I want to say is this is 160 degree angle. They are wide angle cameras. This one's 160 and the H9 is 170. I cannot use the H9 in this case because you will see the lens. It's wide enough for the lens. So when I put it in a waterproof case, the lens is almost right against the front and you can't see that at all. Whereas this one here, the lens is farther forward, so this lens doesn't reach that, or I should say the filter is farther forward, so this lens doesn't quite reach it, so it can see anything off to the side. So that's the other thing too with these cameras. They're wide angle, so they pick up a lot that's around you. As far as mounting, if you don't have a roll bar, then the easiest way to do it would be to mount it to your headrest, two posts in there. I can't pull that up. And that's exactly how I mounted it to the ES950 originally, to the headrest, and then I had to add this extra brace. Put these braces on here just for extra stability, and it is really stable. Despite how it looks, it's actually really stable. So, but there is going to be a little bit of motion because these seats do move. You'll get a little bit of rocking left and right, but other than that, it's good. For the setup I have here, I don't need to use image stabilization at all. It's perfect just the way it is. It's nice and smooth. The only time I would really need it is if I'm on like a bumpy surface, like I'm going full speed on a dirt road, or through that area of the trail between West Cast and Canada Crane. It gets pretty bumpy in there. So other than that, the only time I really use the image stabilization is if I'm doing a sped up video. Then you kind of need it, but just normal speed, nope, don't need it. So I'm safe and secure with, having these on. Now, as far as power source goes, you can run these cameras plugged in, which is what I do. All of them, GoPro and the SJCam and H9, the batteries will last about an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes to hour 30 minutes. So basically, that amount of time, a 16 gigabyte card would work, which is pretty basic. I use mine plugged in because I'm out a lot longer than an hour and a half, so I have to power my cameras. And a 32 gigabyte card will give me 7 to 9 hours of recording time, and a 64 gigabyte card, which is the ones that I use, will give me about 13 hours. 10 to 13 hours. And of course, it depends on, what's actually being recorded too. If it's a darker area, then it records less. I'm not exactly sure why, but the 64 gigabyte card gives me about 13 hours, and that's, yeah, even the 32 gigabytes plenty for me. I'm not usually out longer than 9 hours, but I use the 64 anyways, just in case. So, these cameras, I think only the cheapest ones, none of them, I think the GoPro is the only one that'll actually tell you it'll take a 64 gigabyte card. Every SJ cam that I've had has said it's maximum 32, but I use 64s in them all the time, and I've never had an issue with that. What else was there? I think there was something else I was going to mention about the GoPro. As far as, like I said, these are expensive. You're looking at about $400 just for a basic one. This one's a Hero 3 White. It's basic. I did not buy this. I found it. I'm kind of glad I found it, because if I bought one, I would have been really disappointed. And I don't like them. Like I say, the extra processing that you have to do to get a good video out of it it's not worth it to me. The video that you see in my videos, my scooter cam videos, are from the SJ cam. Unless it's raining and I'm using the H9, that's the camera that you're seeing my videos from. So that's a good indication of what the quality is. And that is no post-processing whatsoever. That is straight from the camera. The GoPro you cannot do that with, because it looks like crap. You have to add contrast, you had to add color saturation. It's just too much work for me for what I'm doing. Professional situation might be a little bit different, but so the other advantage, if you buy a GoPro, depending on what package you get, determines what you get as far as accessories. The GoPro is extremely limited for accessories. They all come with a waterproof case. If you buy one for cycling, you will get a handlebar mount. You'll get buckle mounts and sticky mounts that you can stick on your helmet. That's it. If you buy a diving version, you get sticky mounts to mount on kayaks, boats, surfboards. You won't get a handlebar mount. anything like that. They're really, really, really restrictive on the accessories that come with them. So you can buy accessory packs. You can get all kinds of wonderful creations for them, but you know, it's an extra expense. The SJCam, they come with all kinds of stuff, all manners of accessories to suit any purpose that you're going to have. So that's a nice thing, and of course at a cheaper price. Like I say, this one cost me $108. GoPro $400, right? $108, you get all kinds of accessories, you got everything you need. A GoPro, you got to buy more, and you have to do more work on the video to do it. So that's why, you know, I recommend the SJCam by far. Especially if you're just beginning, just get something cheap. You don't need anything expensive for this particular purpose. Even if you're going to be making videos for YouTube, you don't need anything expensive. The other one too, yeah, this one has Wi-Fi. GoPro has Wi-Fi as well. I don't recommend using it, because basically what that is you can change specific settings in the camera without actually touching the camera itself. You can start it recording, you can stop it recording with your phone. That might have it, oh yeah, and you can see the view from the camera, you can see what the camera is seeing on your phone. That can have advantages, but the disadvantage to that is your battery's going to wear down really fast, and your phone battery's going to wear down really fast. So you can use it, you can like turn the Wi-Fi on when you need it and turn it off again when you're done to save your phone battery. In my case, it doesn't matter because I got USB ports on here. I can plug the phone in if I need to recharge it, and I don't have to worry about the batteries in the cameras wearing down really fast because they're plugged in as well. But I had no use for it. Camera's on the whole time I'm out. I turn it on before I leave, and I turn it off when I get back. I don't need the Wi-Fi whatsoever, so it's a useless feature to me. It might have an advantage for you. Oh, excuse me. You might have a purpose for it. So that's one thing I want to talk about. And some cameras have the image stabilization built right in. That's a wonderful feature. I don't think either of mine do. That's the frame that I was talking about. That's the really cheap one. I'll show you this when I open this up. But that's the really cheap one. That's kind of a permanent mount type thing. And yeah, it's really cheap plastic, so I'm sure it would break really quickly. So I guess that's it. So I'll open this up now. I'll put the camera on the tripod here. I'll open this up and I will show you everything that comes with it and get everything set up, and then we'll go out for a tour and show you how it looks. Hey, so hopefully you can see okay here. You're getting a little bit of flash from the lights, but as long as the picture's bright enough, that's all I'm worried about. That works. Okay, there's the camera itself, and it's got this one's actually got a pretty good lock on it. There we go. And it's the waterproof case. And the other thing I like to mention is most of these action cams are set up the same way. They have the two buttons on the side, the shutter button on the top and the power button on the front are all in the same place. So, except for the GoPro, all of my waterproof cases and all my accessories to hold the camera itself, they all are interchangeable with each other. This one doesn't have a... They usually have an HDMI output. This one doesn't have it. But this one's got the 2-inch LCD screen. And it won't turn on, so that tells me the battery's probably dead. Yeah, the battery is in it. So once I plug it in, I'll be able to use it, but it won't turn on as is right now. But that's okay. So as far as accessories go, yeah, Velcro straps, sticky pads, a really cheap plastic frame that goes around it. It is a charger cord, a J-buckle, and this is what the J-buckle clips into, and it's got sticky pad on the back and also a tripod mount. There's your handlebar mount and another tripod mount and a long one and a short one and a little short, different accessories for if you have it mounted like this and the camera needs to face this way, there's straight ones and there's 90-degree angle ones, so you can change the angle and you can add different joints so you can bend it and point it in pretty much any direction you want. Now, a waterproof case has a full back on it, and it also has the open back, which has slots in the back in the sides of it, so you can use it in the waterproof case, but it's not waterproof, but it allows sound to come through so you can pick up your voices better. And manual, stickers, and cleaning cloth. So this one didn't come with extra batteries, which is why, you know, it cost me as little as it did. Because normally they're over, like this was $95.99 before taxes. So I usually spend a little bit more, $130 or something, and that will get me usually an extra battery and a battery charger, and sometimes comes with a memory card itself. But I don't need any of that. I just need the basic camera itself. That's all I wanted. So I went with the cheaper price, and there was a $75 one, $74.90 something I think it was, but it only had an 1.5 inch screen on the back, which tells me it was an old one, and I don't want the old one, I want the updated one. So it's got the 2-inch, but I just wanted the basic SJ4000, which is what this is. Different models. This one's the SJ4000. There's 5000, 6000, SJ6, I'm not sure if there's an SJ7, but there is an SJ8. As far as I know, SJ8 is the most modern one, but they get too many bells and whistles on them. I bought the SJ6 Legend, and well, you saw what happened with that. It actually had a physical gimbal image stabilization built into it, and well, after 3 days that quit working. So I'm just going with the basics, sticking with what I know works. I'll just toss that over there for now. No, I don't need any of this. Don't need any of that. Stick that in with my accessories. So I will take protective covers off. Okay. Now, sticker in here. Put the cover on. The back door, not cover. Come on. Again, this is hard to do with one hand. Of course, drop the elastic. Okay, stick the power cord in. I'll tighten it down in a minute. Turn it on. Yeah, the battery's pretty much dead. Okay. I'm going to close this door so you can actually see what's going on without getting glare. Yeah. That should be better. Actually, I'm going to take this elastic off for now so you can see the screen. Alright. So I'll hit the power button at the front to change modes. Yeah, you see that flickering from the lights in this too. So this looks pretty much the same as the other one. I'm not going to bother with the date. It's set at 2018, January 1st. Picture mode. Review playback. Okay, setup resolution, and it's got the two buttons on the side. And press the shutter button to select 1080p 30 frames per second. That's what I'm looking for. Loop recording, I want that turned off. Loop recording, the nice thing about SJCams is you can use them as dash cams, and if you have loop recording, then once a card is full, it'll erase the very first file and start a new one. So it always cycles through, it's always recording, so you never really run out of space. The other nice thing about car mode is when you start your car up, camera gets power, it automatically turns on and starts recording. When you turn your car off, the power shuts down and the camera saves the last file it was recording and then turns off. That's what car mode is. That's one thing about the SJCams. So I want loop recording off. I don't want to record over previous videos. Field of view, this one's settable apparently. Okay, I want wide angle. That's cool. I don't think my last SJCam had that. I can actually set whether I want wide angle or not so wide. Okay, camera's moving too much for me here. I'm going to actually tighten it down. This just pushes against it now, it won't move at all. Okay. Wide dynamic range, I didn't know that was in here. I will set that on. Motion detection off. So apparently this one will start recording if it detects motion. I like that. No use for me though. Okay, audio's on. Oops. Volume, that's just playback, doesn't matter. Timestamp, make sure that's off. I don't want that on my videos. TV out, TV mode, don't need to worry about those. On screen display mode. Video lapse, turn that off. Image size, doesn't matter. Quality, fine. Sharpness, normal. White balance, normal, or auto, that works. Color, normal. ISO, auto. Exposure value, set that at 0. Don't need to compensate for anything. Underwater. There's an underwater mode. I'm gonna have to check the manual, see what that is. Photo lapse, burst mode. There's the dash cam. I'm gonna leave it off because I don't really need to. I turn everything on and off anyways. License, don't need to worry about. Date and time, I'm not gonna set. Auto power off, 3 minutes. Keypad tone, don't matter. Screensaver, 30 seconds. And basically what that is, if I don't touch the camera for 30 seconds, the display will turn off. Frequency, 50 hertz, 60. Oh my god, I don't even know what we have. 60. Rotate, don't want that. And rotate is, for example, when I did my Monster Adventures series video, I had cameras all over the scooter, and I was showing the rear suspension. I had a camera hanging off of here upside down, so the video would be upside down. I can fix that in post-processing, but that's what rotate is. So you can turn it. The display will actually be upside down, so if your camera's mounted upside down, you'll actually see video right side up. Oops, I want that off. Don't want to rotate. Logo watermark, do not want. Wi-Fi. Okay. I guess that's the ID, so that's what I look for in my phone. Okay, I can set a password if I want. Language, obviously it's already in English. Delete videos that are on the card. There shouldn't be anything there. Nope. Oop. Format. I don't have a card. I gotta take a card out of the other one. Okay, hang on one second here. Actually, I'll do that in a bit. Default setting, version 1.8. That's 2018. So I should look and see if I have any updates. Do that on my computer later. So I gotta take this out again because I don't think I can stick a card in there. Give me a second here. Take the card out of my SJCam. These things are really tiny. I don't like these because they're spring-loaded, and if your fingernail slips, the card goes flying across the room. It's just a tiny little thing. Stick that in here. Just like that. Take that again. And I'll try that again. Okay, actually I'll go up and be quicker. Format. And basically what this does, if you get a brand new card, it's got nothing on it, and when you format it, it sets it up. The camera sets the card up for the file system that it needs to use. Done. So I'm all ready to go. Now I'm not sure why, but it's telling me I have 9.5 recording hours available on this card. Which I would get with a 32 gigabyte card, but that is a 64. I'm gonna have to look at that. I have a chart that I created when I think it was my H9 review video that I created this chart for, and it shows all the different file sizes and settings on the cameras, comparing them. I compared this camera with the SJCam and the GoPro, and the H9 actually uses the least amount of memory space for the same amount of file recording time. I'm gonna have to look into that. It is 1080p 30, right? Yeah, 1080p 30, so it's not 60 frames per second. Yeah. don't know. I don't know. But aside from maybe giving me bigger file sizes, is no big deal. I'm not going to be out longer than 9.5 hours anyways. So I'm going to stick this camera in a waterproof case. And then, yeah, the power, this screensaver here, that after 30 seconds it goes off on its own. And I'm going to stick the GoPro, I'm going to look for its waterproof case, I'm going to stick it on the handlebar, just to show you the difference in video quality, and do a bit of a selfie video, which I don't like. And then I'll come back and talk some more. Well, so much for that. GoPro wouldn't turn on. Hold the button down, it comes on for a second, and immediately turns off again, which tells me the battery's toast. I did charge it up overnight, and it said it was charged, but obviously it's not going to hold its charge. So that was the other reason I didn't like using the GoPro, because it was unreliable. Never knew when it was going to work. Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. Today it wouldn't when I needed it to. So I got me more spare parts. This is a replacement speedometer cable, because it's due to break. Yeah, it's pretty bad when I'm preparing for problems, right? So once it breaks, I've got the replacement. I can fix it right away, or well, as soon as I'm able to, as soon as I feel like it. So I guess that's it. For a comparison of the GoPro to the SJCam, you'll have to watch my comparison video that I did years ago with the ES950. I really wanted to do that today for this video, but you know, GoPro's just not going to work. So why I don't like them. Maybe better quality camera, but to me they're inferior. Stick with the cheap ones. Something you know is going to work. And just so you know, these SJCams, I use them every day, for hours every day. Really, really hot weather, really, really cold weather. I don't have issues with them. They last at least 2 years before they start messing up. And the only thing that's wrong with this one is the charger cord. From plugging it in and pulling it out every day. That's the only thing that's wrong with this one. So They're well worth the money. They're a great cheap alternative to GoPro. There's lots of them similar to this. The only other one I have the experience with, like I say, is this one here, the H9. But there's all kinds of them, cheap ones. Don't get anything too cheap as far as price goes, because you do get what you pay for with these. Like I say, around $100 is good. SJCams, I've never paid more than $130 for them, and they're always right around the $100 mark. And of course, you know, more you pay, the more it's going to come with them in some cases. If you buy from Amazon, they will show you a list of accessories that come with it, so you can decide from there. And like I say, make sure it's got a 2-inch screen on the back, not an 1.5 inch, because the 1.5 inch are the really old ones. They work, probably be okay, but they just don't have the updates that these do. I don't know how to explain it. It's the newer ones. Just stick with the SJ4000. Don't go any higher. There's too many bells and whistles on them that can go wrong. Just stick with the basic SJCam SJ4000, and you should be good. You get plenty of mounting options, and you can get creative and you know, create your own as well. So I guess that's it. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to talk about. I was gonna talk about the extra footage that I got today that I didn't get, so so camera's still recording. It looks exactly the same as the other one did. Turn it off, and when I cut power to it, it should shut right down. Yep, and it's all good to go. One thing I will mention, I forgot about, is the files. Depending on the camera, it uses it starts. What am I trying to say here? Starts recording a file. Depending on how it's set up, it'll get to a certain point, either time or file size. With the SJCam, it's time. Every half hour, it'll save what it's got and then start a new file. The GoPro, I believe, goes by file size. It gets to a gigabyte and then stops and then starts a new file. Unfortunately, what I found with the SJCam, the newer ones, is they leave a 4-second gap between files. So when I'm driving down the street, when the file changes, there'll be like a 4-second gap, and I'll just kind of jump ahead. I don't like that. My original SJCam did not do that, so the older ones don't do that. Why that's changed with the new ones, I don't know. I kind of wondered, because when I got the other one, I stuck it in the window as a webcam or a weather cam and tested the card that came with it and just let it record until the card was full, and I kept hearing a chirp, and that's what kind of got my attention to it. So every time it changes files, it chirps, and I'm thinking, I hope that's not being recorded. And I discovered, nope, it's not being recorded because there's a 4-second gap in the file, so that is a disadvantage. So what I'm trying to remember to do now is if I stop and take a break somewhere, I stop recording and then start recording, so I got at least a half hour until that, you know, file changes again. I don't always remember to do that, but I'm trying to get into that habit. That might be something the Wi-Fi would be good for now. So it's just not that much. I just got to reach back, push the button, wait for the beep, and then push the button again to hear it restart. But the Wi-Fi could do that. I'm not sure if it tells me I'm not sure what kind of information it gives in the app. Because like I say, it'll show you what the camera's seeing. There's a delay. There's like a 5-second delay, I think, but I'm not sure if it shows the recording time on the phone. I'm not even sure if it shows the battery power remaining. I'm not sure actually. I don't use it, so I did use it once just to see how it worked and what it did. That was it. So anyway, I'm not sure how long this video is going to be now, so I'll stop rambling. So if you're considering putting a camera on your scooter, like I say, don't start with something expensive. Start with something that's cheap, gonna work, comes with lots of accessories, lots of options, and just kind of go from there. I'm recommending the SJCam because I have experience with it. It hasn't let me down. So I don't, no endorsements for it. It's not a I'm not even sure what to say. I'm not getting paid to talk about it or recommend it, put it that way. I just have experience with it. It's always worked for me. All weather, hot, cold, and if it's raining, use the waterproof case. No worries. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you make your decisions. And any questions, just let me know. And I'm sure I haven't covered everything. My mind doesn't hold on to everything I want to talk about anymore. So chances are I forgot to say something I wanted to say. Hopefully nothing vital. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. As I'm taking the camera out here, I thought about it. If you're not going to use the waterproof case, get yourself a lens protector. They generally don't come with it. This one's off of my H9. It will fit. It will not fit, apparently. That's the same thing I discovered with the old SJCam. They made the lenses smaller, so I had to put an elastic around that. I'll just use this one eventually. That's why I got the elastic around this one, because it didn't fit properly. But this fits on all the older ones. GoPro has its own size. And also, if you do use it in the waterproof case, you can get covers for them too. Just to protect from scratches and that. So if you're going to stick it in your pocket or something, you don't want to scratch the lens because that'll mess up your video. So that's all I got this time for sure. Thanks for watching.